Hello folks, the Sony Xperia 1 Mark V is expected to debut in the coming months as Sony's main flagship phone for the year. A new leak from an admittedly sketchy source has now revealed important details of the phone, including significant camera upgrades as well as launch date info. An image of what is believed to be the upcoming Sony Xperia 1 Mark V has popped up online, highlighting the changes that have been made to the camera array. The Xperia 1 Mark IV features a vertical camera bump with a 12-megapixel main unit, a 12-megapixel ultra-wide snapper and a 12-megapixel telephoto shooter. It also has a time-of-flight sensor for determining depth information and an RGB IR sensor for optimal white balance adjustments. Leaker Zach Bugs found a picture of the Xperia 1 Mark V on eSATA forums and shared it on his Weibo account. Even though he isn't completely sure if the picture is authentic, he has made a few interesting observations. Firstly, it looks like Sony's next flagship will do away with the 3D ToF and RGB IR sensors. He adds that the AI-focused tracking technology will likely make up for the missing ToF unit. Thus, we're left with three big sensors, and they look bigger than on the 1 Mark IV, of which the lowest one houses a periscope camera. Zach Bags also believes that the phone sports new main and ultra-wide angle sensors. That's interesting because an earlier leak had said that the phone could feature a new telephoto camera. If both these rumors pan out, the Xperia 1 Mark V will have a wholly new camera array from top to bottom, and this may help it become the best camera phone of 2023. Other than that, the LED flash has moved into the island in the upcoming model, whereas it was outside the island, above it, in last year's handset, giving the phone a cleaner look. The mic has also been placed on the camera strip to allow for clearer voice recording while shooting videos. You can spot the NFC logo to the right of the camera island, which means this leaked unit is the international version of the Xperia 1 Mark V. If it was the one destined for the Japanese domestic market, then we'd have gotten the Thelica logo instead. According to a Chinese leakster on Weibo, the Xperia 1 Mark V will use Qualcomm Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 chipset, which is not a surprise. It will also be the thinnest smartphone to use the chipset, and that could make it the hottest Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 device around, literally. Of course, Sony is expected to have some kind of cooling solution, and hopefully that will alleviate the thinness, but that remains to be seen. Supposedly, the Xperia 1 Mark V will sport a 6.5-inch QHD Plus display with a variable refresh rate ranging from 1Hz to 120Hz. This display is said to be an E6 AMOLED panel. According to earlier reports, the Xperia 1 Mark V might be considerably cheaper than the Xperia 1 Mark IV to better compete with the Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra. And that would be very helpful for the smartphone. As usual with Sony flagships, many people like them for their features like 3.5mm jack, SD card, no notch, but in reality like 1% actually buy them due to either being very expensive or not available in many markets. They also have bad release dates, months after their presentation. Last but not least, it's laughable to pay that much money for a flagship with worse software support than some mid-rangers. Sony has confirmed just 2 major OS updates so far. Sadly, without a good inter-device ecosystem and long software support, Sony would be used only by a minority of people who uses SD card and headphone jack. Even not everyone who said no headphone jack, SD card no buy is actually buying Sony. And Sony adds rubbish ToF, RGB sensors on their phones but never makes use of their own best camera sensors, that is currently the IMX989. Still, I'm looking forward to it and I wish Sony to release a competitive smartphone. Sony could reveal the phone during MWC Barcelona 2023, which kicks off later this month, but the actual release might still be some months away.
Hello, please subscribe to this channel and give this video a thumbs up. Thanks for your continued support. Now let's get back to the video.
The Sony Xperia 1 IV was, in many respects, one of the most intriguing smartphones of 2022, because it contains unique characteristics. However, it has a number of flaws and is very expensive. As a result, we've outlined the adjustments we want to see made to the device. However, before that, we've provided information on the potential release date, price, and specifications of the Sony Xperia 1 V. Although we haven't heard much just yet, we'll be sure to update you guys as new leaks and rumors come in. Sony hasn't been terribly consistent with its Xperia 1 line releases, so we can't be too sure when the Sony Xperia 1 V will land, especially in the absence of any rumors. For reference, the Sony Xperia 1 IV was announced on May 11th of 2022, then hit UK stores on June 16th. but the US isn't getting it until September 1, and Australia isn't getting it at all. The announcement of the Sony Xperia 1 III was only slightly earlier the previous year, in April 2021. But the phone didn't actually go on sale anywhere until August. For the two models before that, we saw a February announcement and a May on sale date. So what can we take from this? The Sony Xperia 1 V will probably be announced in the first half, potentially in May, since that would be a year after the Xperia 1 IV. But that's far from guaranteed. The actual release date is even tougher to guess at, since there's sometimes a long delay after the announcement, but some regions might get it in or around June. For price, the Sony Xperia 1 IV costs $1,599 in the US, which gets you a model with 512 GB of storage. In the UK there's only a 256 GB version available, and this costs £1,299.99. So the Sony Xperia 1 V might have a similar price, but we're not sure. Hopefully, it won't be any more expensive anyway, as the Xperia 1 IV is already one of the most expensive non-foldable phones you can buy. There aren't many Sony Xperia 1 V leaks yet, but we have now seen a leaked image that purportedly shows the back of the phone. You can see this below, and it looks a lot like the rear of a Sony Xperia 1 IV. Except that this time all the camera sensors are housed in the camera block. There are changes to the selection of available lenses and sensors too. It's still a triple lens camera, but those lenses look bigger, so some or all of them could be new. There's also now a hole for what's presumably a microphone, but there's no sign of the RGB-IR sensor or the TOF time of flight sensor found on the Xperia 1 IV. We would however take this image with a pinch of salt. We've also been treated to some unofficial renders of the phone in black and purple, which you can see below. A reliable source posted several images and a video of the Sony Xperia 1 V, matching up with the leaked image we've already mentioned. Again, it doesn't look as though much is changing from a design perspective. The same source also mentioned a Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 processor.
If you made it to this point, that's amazing. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, like, subscribe, and share for more videos like this. I am ICJ, and this is Amiable Media. Catch you in the next one.